This is Karuizawa, Japan. We're here for the Pacific Asia Curling Championships 2014, coming to you live from the Ice Park Curling Hall. Now entering our last day of play, it's time for gold medal games. This morning, we'll have China play Korea, playing not only for being crowned the best team of the Pacific Asia region, but also for a spot at the World Championship in Sapporo, Japan. My name is Sander Olvag. I'm joined by Hans Frauenlob. We're going to take a look at the standings and how our teams got there.
Well, thank you very much, Sander. We do see that Korea went through the round-robin phase unbeaten, as well as the semi-final phase, so they're top-ranked. China and Japan were ranked 2 and 3. New Zealand ranked 4th. Australia ranked 5th in this women's event. And let's look at the road to the gold medal match for these teams. We see that Korea defeated New Zealand 3-0 in the semi-final series. China defeated Japan 3-1 in their semi-finals, so they meet in the gold medal match. In our bronze medal game, we will have New Zealand versus Japan. So, let's meet the teams. So here's Team China. Playing at lead today is Wang Rei. At second stone is Yushin Rei. Playing at third stone is Liu Jin Li. And China is skipped by Lu Sijia. The alternate is Mei Jia, and their coach is Zhang Mei.
For Team Korea today, at lead, Young Mi Kim. Second player, Sun Young Kim. Third player is Kyung Ai Kim. And the team is skipped by Un Young Kim. Alternate player, Min Chong Kim. And the team is coached by Patti Vucic. Just about to start here in the Ice Park Curling Hall. We'll see that China has the red stones, Korea is playing the yellow. Korea, of course, having the last stone advantage. Undefeated so far, Korea. Impressive they've been this week, Hans.
Well, they certainly have been, Sander, if you've been enjoying the coverage with us this week, and we hope you have. We've seen this Korean team a number of times, and we've characterized them as fearless. They will gamble, they will go for it, and let's see, we've got an opportunity right here as the Chinese stone slides to the back of the 12-foot, and indeed we see Un Young Kim immediately to the offense.
Well, I think she's playing the hit, Hans.
I'm sorry. So not so much offense at all.
Yeah,
it is a hit.
Young Mi Kim being asked to play the hit in the back. Surely could have put the corner guard up, but that red stone slipping all the way to the back of the 12. Not really a big risk throwing the corner guard, but maybe just wanting to run an end down. At least gives us some time to talk about the teams. Indeed.
So the Chinese team's road here was a little bit more difficult than Team Korea's. China, as we said, faced Japan in a best 3 out of 5 semi-final. That one went 4 games, and we saw yesterday that China had to score 2 in the last end to pull that one out. But Lu Sijia and her team have accomplished that. China have won 6 of the last 8 Pacific Asia Women's Curling Championships, but this is a new look team from China. Korea are the defending women's champions, but again, this is a brand new lineup for Korea. So I'm sure for both teams, this is a new experience. Playing in a gold medal match, and as Sander pointed out, on the cusp of qualifying for the Women's World Curling Championships. So I'm sure there's both some excitement, anticipation, and maybe some nerves out there.
Yushin Rei, second player for China, doing the same as her lead, Wang Rei, playing the open hit. This one's curling big time though. Needs to catch a piece of the yellow, and she will, just enough to push it out.
Well swept.
So we're going to move on to Sun Young Kim, Team Korea's second player, getting ready in the hack. She's going to play a draw. Going to draw to the wing here. Sun Young Kim.
Ice conditions here all week at the Karuizawa Ice Park Curling Hall have been consistent and magnificent. The ice has been fast. There's been about 4.5 feet of curl, and it gives the players the opportunities to make all the shots. Something that we have seen, however, is that the ice being so consistent that teams that get out to a lead are usually in a pretty good position to protect the lead, so both teams know that. So they're playing a bit cautiously here in the early going, knowing the importance of getting in front. Here is Yushin Rei, known as Nana to her teammates. This Chinese team from the Harbin area of China. See Sun Young Kim playing the intern. We mentioned this Korean team is a new look Korean team. 3 of the team members won a silver at the Women's World Junior Curling Championships. So that team was skipped by Korean third Kyung-ai Kim. So they have had some international experience, but now at the open women's level, a step up.
Lu Jinli, third player for Team China. Although not vice skipping. That's Yushin Rei's job.
So pretty straight up and down here in the first end.
It's a bit interesting though, Korea. They've usually come out a bit strong. Maybe it's because they had first practice. Both teams get 9 minutes to practice on the ice before the game starts. Korea would have had the first practice, meaning the ice can be a little bit different now, so they might just want to run stones down for one end, considering it's the final. I think we're going to see a corner guard in the second end. As we see Kyung-ai Kim with the open hit. She's been solid this week, making some real good shots for her team.
And a good shot there as well. I think you could be right, Sander, that maybe they're just getting a feel for the ice, and in the second end may elect to go to the offense.
Well, interesting thing is Korea's played 83 ends so far in the championship, and they've only ever blanked 4 ends with last stone.
That is a very interesting stat, because this is a very strong hitting team.
It's a big contrast to the Chinese team. They have blanked 11 times with the last stone, being about 12% of the ends have played.
And that's a case where the statistics do bear out to the reality. We've watched this Chinese women's team play a number of games this week. They do favor a conservative style and a low-scoring game and controlling the hammer. We saw that pay off for them big time yesterday in their semifinal against Japan. Nose hit. So that stone creeping ever forward in the house. There's Kyung-ai Kim. So now if China noses this one, possible chance that it would stay off the rings, but here we see Chinese skip Mu Sijia making her way down to the hack end. Sander mentioned all to play for in this one. 2 teams come out of this Pacific Asia region to qualify for the Women's World Curling Championships. However, in 2015, the Worlds are going to be held right here in Japan, in Sapporo. So that means as the host nation, Japan automatically gets a place. So one other team from the Pacific Asia region qualifies, and that will be the winner of this gold medal game. So it's all on the line for both of these teams. China would like to keep this one in the rings, and they do. So it's Championship Saturday in here in Karuizawa. It's a beautiful little resort town. It's about 1 hour on the Shinkansen train, bullet train from Tokyo. Very popular holiday destination. We saw this morning on the way to the rink. It's a beautiful, crisp and clear morning. You can ski here in Karuizawa, and we see a lot of skiers making their way to the slopes today. There's a long track speed skating rink adjacent to this rink, but here today it's all about the curling. starts and rolls to the corner. So interesting choice here now for Lucy Jia. Really a no-risker to perhaps generate a force by drawing around that guard that's been left by the Korean Sander.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. Had to wreck fairly thick on the yellow one to push it in, so I think it's worth the draw here. And well, very often you'll see them take a bit too much ice and play this one too safe, but what they can do is they can draw it back to the back of the house, allowing them a bit more space around the guard.
And it also gives Lucy Jia an early opportunity just to find her draw weight.
Yeah, really not about stealing right now. It's all about just trying to force Korea with the stone, so it doesn't quite matter where you put it as long as it's hidden. So it's a pretty good opportunity for Lucy Jia. A free draw. Hanging out there, waiting for this one to cut in.
Well by the guard.
Well, we have seen that the stones, they don't necessarily finish as much in the first end or two. And the curl will start to come after a while, after they start breaking down the pebble and sweep and warm up the ice a wee bit, maybe.
That's right, Sandra. The ice pattern has been really consistent this week. Head ice technician for this event is Joe Fritz from Germany, and check with him daily about the ice conditions and in this ultra-modern facility here at the Ice Park Curling Hall. Conditions have been almost identical for the whole week, so we will see more curl in the second or third end, but now here's a blank attempt for Korea. Eun-Young Kim trying to remove this Chinese stone and roll out. They have contact. Can they roll out? Yes, they do. So nice shot there from Eun-Young Kim, and the Koreans are underway. No score in the first end, but mission accomplished for Team Korea. They blanked the end. That means they retained last rock advantage into the second end. So good execution there from the Koreans. And as you said, Sander, perhaps now in end number 2, we'll see if Team Korea might elect a corner guard. We've seen lots of matches involving both of these teams this week. As we said, this Korean team are pretty fearless. They're very comfortable with lots of rocks in play. They back themselves to be able to make run backs and big weight shots. But this is a one-game winner-take-all scenario, and so it will be controlled aggression for the Koreans. They'll pick their spots. Well timed. Here's Wang Rei.
Well, I can understand China playing a bit defensive against Korea. After all, Korea has only given up 3 steals for the whole week.
That is mighty impressive curling.
Well, China has given up 10 steals, which is a bit more normal.
Yes.
Giving up only 3 stolen ends the entire week. 9 games of curling.
9 games of curling, that's right. Almost 90 ends of curling, only giving up 3 steals. That's amazing. Here's Young-Mi Kim. Curling, of course, is a Winter Olympic sport, and the Olympics are of particular interest to the Koreans because the next Winter Olympics will be held in Korea, in Pyeongchang. And the curling competition at the 2018 Games will be played in Gangneung. That was the same venue that was host for the 2009 Women's World Curling Championships. So, big excitement in Korea for the next 4 years, building up to the Olympics.
Wang Rei, lead for China, youngest player out there. Born in '95. Does that make you feel old, Hans?
Yeah, it makes me feel quite old, Sander.
It makes me feel old.
I competed in my first Pacific Asia Championships representing New Zealand in let's see, 1997. So Long Ray would have been 2.
Yep. Young Mi Kim looking for the hit and roll off the red ones. Most important thing though, has to keep the shooter around. If she rolls out, I'm afraid China might peel the corner guard.
So a little break there for China. An attempted double takeout, but jams the Chinese shot and rolls out herself. So Liu Xijia indeed electing to rip this corner guard.
Yeah, that's the sort of cautious approach we've seen from China so far, and if you're Team Korea, you shouldn't really be surprised. I have full confidence in Pate Vucic, having looked at Team China, knowing what their tactics have been, but so far with last stone, Korea doesn't have to take too many chances. We've seen that maybe a few times, China playing the defensive calls, maybe frustrating their opponent into playing a few not as well-timed aggressive shots, and that's cost them dearly. So Korea's not going to fall into that trap, I think.
As we said, the women did play a double round robin. And now we see Korea electing to try and put on a little offensive pressure. They're ignoring that stone in the rings, and Sun Young Kim has been asked to throw a corner guard. So, but you're right, Sander. Sometimes when teams with more offensive, aggressive tendencies like this Korean team, when they meet a more conservative team like the Chinese, sometimes they can get a little bit impatient, try to force the play a little bit.
Really like this call from Korea. I think you've seen way too often teams just playing the nose hit on the stone, just giving up. It's so early in the end, you know China's going to try and rip the guards a few times more. You might as well try it. You might get a miss, and if you do, great chance to score your 2. If they make a 3-4 corner guard peels, then you play the hit in the house and you blank. There's no risk putting up the corner guard right now. So China will peel it off, no problems. I wouldn't mind seeing another corner guard. And Young Kim, I think, does call the corner guard, so I'm liking this approach from Team Korea.
Korea does have last rock, no score in this game. Gold medal match, it's Championship Saturday here at the Pacific Asia Curling Championships. You're joining us live. This is a 10-end contest. No sweeping on this, so I think it's got more than enough weight. I'd like it to come to rest about 2 feet or 3 feet and short of the rings. About 6 feet short, very useful corner guard. And once again, China sensing the danger, looking to remove that. Liu Junli. The stones bouncing off the boards a bit. The players replacing the stones where they came to rest. For those of you new to curling, as soon as a stone touches the sideboard, it is out of play.
Yeah, and if you do by accident move a stone, even if it's your own stone, it's usually not a problem. You just replace it where it was. It's a good thing about curling, it's a fair play sport. No one's looking to take advantage of rules and mistakes other than missed shots. Looking to draw the other side here, just to make the corner guard peel a bit different for Team China. Although less chance of a jam coming this way, they figured just give China a different path to play the peel.
So now the angle's changing a bit, so Liu Xijia switching gears, not peeling the corner guard this time, but instead electing to guard her shot, trying to set herself up to force this end. By a force, we mean that's when you force your opponent to score 1 with last rock.
And that's a good thing.
That is a good thing.
then you get last stone back, and you can try and score your 2. So it's pretty much the basics of curling. You want to try and score 2 yourself, give away 1 point to the opponent, and then score 2 again. Not very often it pans out that way, though.
So nice center guard there, blocking access to the stone. Let's see what Team Korea does with this. They've got a couple of options. They could clear those guards to open up the path and perhaps set up for the blank, or if they felt a bit racy, they could perhaps draw around themselves, but they are electing to rip the guards. Kyung-Ai Kim, you can just see her fingernails there. She always has quite flashy fingernails, including a Korean flag. Very patriotic. I wonder, Sander, if they think they can run the gap here and pick out the shot, or if they're just playing to clear.
Tick, tick, boom.
Could be tick, tick, boom. By that, hitting both of those stones and squirting forward themselves. Let's see what happens.
Or are they looking to actually go straight through the guards?
Yeah, it does look like they're trying to run the port. They just clipped their own stone.
And I think they clipped the wrong guard, to be honest.
So the center guard remains for China. They lie 1. Good opportunity now for China to go for the force. So Kyung-Ai Kim was trying to run her stone between those guards, but clips one of them.
Problem was the placement of the corner guard.
And we see the Chinese bench. Coach Zhang Wei and alternate Mei Jia looking on to their teammate.
Yeah, the corner guard came a bit tight to the center line, meaning if China did expose a bit of the red stone on the left-hand side as we see it, the corner guard would be blocking that path. And if the corner guard was a bit 2 feet wider, I'm not sure if China wouldn't actually risk guarding it.
So nice opportunity now for China to put on some pressure. Trying to draw around their 2 stones. Target area here is pretty much right on the button, just across the center line. No score on end number 2. Good looking weight. It's a question of the line. They don't want to leave it too high. They sweep it just to the front of the 4-foot. China line 2. So decision time for Team Korea. I think that Eun-Young Kim thinks she might be able to double those out by just squeaking by the guard on the in turn and making a double takeout. Tough angle though, there is some risk of a jam if she hits it thin.
Not quite sure if the double is necessary here though, because even if you make the double, you leave a draw around the center guard for China, and you probably be forced anyway. I think a better call and an easier call would be to play the out turn hit on the stone just played by Lucy Jia, roll to the wing, stay shot stone. China would have to hit that, and you have a lot more room to draw to with your last shot.
In-turn attempt. They have 1. Chinese stone moving into the back of the 8-foot and just leaving a biter of their own on the side of the 12. So she does open up a little bit of real estate for her last shot. She was trying to eliminate both of the Chinese stones. She did move both of them. But as Sander Rovag pointed out, now there's an opportunity for China to duck one around themselves and make this last stone for Korea really tough. If they can bury one behind that center guard, about just biting the front of the button, not only will China create the force opportunity that we talked about earlier, but have a very realistic chance to steal the end. And we talked about how rare that's been this week that Korea has dropped a steal. Steal means when you score, when the opponent has last rock. Out turn draw. well by. So almost full in the forefoot, but doesn't look like it buried. I would say that Korea will be able to see at least half of this rock. And here we see the fearlessness of Eun-Young Kim. She's saying, hey, maybe I can make a double and we can score 2. She was looking at the double takeout. Most teams would be quite happy just to take their 1. There we see a great angle from our overhead camera. China lying first and second shot, the red stones.
I think maybe she's just called for the nose hit here for 1.
We did hear her say bumper, which means board weight. She's trying to throw the stone hard enough to hit the far boards. So this is a takeout shot, but it's controlled weight. She can see about 2/3 of the target rock. And there we see a corner of that stone is hidden behind the guard. Korea's on it immediately. They must get by the guard. Fantastic sweeping by Korea. And it's a score of 1.
Pretty sure Eun-Young Kim said clean just before the guard there too.
I thought I heard clean as well, Sander, and that would have been incredibly brave. But it's a nose hit and a score of 1 for Korea, so a great clutch hit and stick for 1 against 2 Chinese stones. So Korea goes in front 1-0. We saw the importance of sweeping. Again, if you're new to curling, you're wondering what the impact of sweeping is. You saw it on that shot. Young-Mi Kim, Sun-Young Kim on the brooms, brushed that stone coast to coast and just got their stone by the guard. Critical, critical shot there. So once again, we've talked about how rarely Korea drops the steal. Another clutch shot from Eun-Young Kim. And Korea scores. You're watching the gold medal match in the women's event. There we see Team Korea's bench. On the upper left, Coach Patty Withrich. Below her, alternate Min-Young Kim. And they'll probably be relieved after that shot, Sander, that they didn't crash the guard.
Yeah, it was getting very close and it could have been a steal of 2 for Team China. But they do get their 1. It's not really a big surprise because Team China's been very good at forcing their opponent to 1. They've done it most times out of any teams. 30 ends they've forced their opponent to take their 1. They have a force efficiency of over 50%.
So for some teams, that's very much a tactic of especially characteristic of teams that like close defensive style. They try to build their game plans around forcing the opponent to take 1 and then scoring 2 themselves. So China does excel at that.
Yeah, they're good at forcing, but they haven't been as good with the hammer. So they're not aggressive enough, I think, with last stone, China. While Korea, on the other hand, has been very good at scoring. They've got a neat 50% hammer efficiency, meaning for every second end they play, they score 2 points or more. So that really is big.
And that does reflect their dominance through the round robin phase of this tournament. They are unbeaten. That means they won 8 in a row in the round robin phase and won their semifinal game as well. So 9 consecutive wins for this Korean team this week. China, through this week, have suffered defeat 3 times. 2 of those times, of course, to this Korean team in the round robin. And they lost 1 of their 4 semifinal games against Japan. So those impressive statistics from Korea. Perhaps showing why they lead this table, but again, this is all about one game. Sun Young Kim. Doesn't want to roll out. Korea lies one. Yushin Ray. China rolling all the way to the edge of that green 12-foot circle. Stones have to be at least partly touching that circle to be eligible to score. This time, Sun Young Kim rolls out of the house.
I think we're going to see a hit and roll off the center guard. It's been a usual tactic for the Chinese. It's
not conventional, but it's certainly been effective for them trying to reposition this guard.
Yeah, it's a very, very cautious way of trying to score two. You're pretty much playing for the blank with a itsy bitsy chance of maybe scoring two. No risk in it really, unless you nose hit, which he does, Yushin Ray. And Korea might then want to come out round this guard. Good news for China though. It is a red stone in front of the house, which they can run back. And it's fairly close to the house, so it wouldn't be the longest run back to play either.
A run back shot is when you hit a stone that in front of the rings, back towards a target rock on the rings. Here's Kyung-ai Kim. Skipped Korea to a silver medal at the World Junior Curling Championships.
Yep, playing with the second player Sun Young Kim, both of them.
Trying to draw around this guard. So maybe hides a corner, but I would have liked that to be another 4 or 5 feet forward to bury it better. So Sandarov had mentioned the run back, and now we will see a run back attempt by China. Trying to hit their own stone onto the Korean rock.
They could play directly on the stone in the house, but I think Lucy Jia wants to roll to a corner guard as well here and not leave a center. She's done that amazingly.
Perfect execution there from Lu Jinli.
That is really good. Rolls both the red stones over, and should be about half buried behind that corner guard. See both the reds roll symmetrically to the side. Amazing.
Like synchronized swimming. There's Lu Jinli. Great shot there. And there we see the shot rock is half buried. Team Korea discussing their options. Do they want to try and double them off or just rip the guard? And discussing the kind of weight they want to play. There's one. Double takeout. Great shot there from Kyung-Ai Kim. Great job by the Korean sweepers to hold the line, just clipping the shot rock out. So nothing in play. Corner guard does remain for China. So Lu Jin-Lee, after that great raise, hit and roll, I guess you'd call it, on her first shot, now trying to play a draw. Good looking line here. Wanting to bury it behind that corner. Sweeping it to the back of the 8-foot. Good attempt there from Team China. They've got the hammer here on end number 3, last rock advantage. Trailing 1-0. So again, a decision for Team Korea. They could freeze that stone. It is behind the tee line. Or simply remove it. Teammate Sun Young Kim is down at the hack end, giving a perspective on how much of that stone she can see. And there we see the Korean teams using the width of the broom as a gauge for how much ice they want to take for this shot. And there we see Korean third Kyung-Ai Kim setting the target for her skip.
We're looking at the freeze first, but looking to bump the red one out, I think.
So perhaps safety first for Team Korea. They lead 1-0. China with the hammer. Sweeper's really working it now. They have to get it by the guard. Just by the guard. Boy, they were on and off that one, Sander. And again, the fearlessness of this Korean team to let that stone come so close to the guard. I thought they were going to wreck.
I think maybe they came a bit too close.
There's a little smile from Kyung-Ai Kim saying, yeah, no problem, Young. You're well by. Korea lies 1.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't mind them when seeing that Yellowstone roll a bit to the center line. Left it there. Lucy Jang can freeze onto it. And it's a bit tucked in behind the corner guard, so even if she angles this one a bit on the left-hand side, it's going to be really hard for Korea to remove it. So a good chance of scoring 2 here, Lucy Jang with a nice draw. She will be mostly in front of the tee line with the freeze.
Trying to bring this stone all the way to the face of that Korean shot. Coming to rest directly on top of that Korean stone. That is an excellent shot by Lu Si-ja. China lies 1, and Korea now probably has no option but to follow it down and try to make essentially the exact same shot. But for Korea to lie 1, they're going to have to be a little bit on the inside angle. So, as Sander mentioned, that Korean stone sitting behind the tee line gave China the chance to freeze. They executed it perfectly, and so they're set up for a great chance for a 2. And number 3 of this 10-end match. Korea's leading at 1-0. China with last rock. Sweepers on it immediately. This one's really moving. I think she's light. Stone comes up really about 10 feet short, so very uncharacteristic from the Koreans. And that one never had a chance. So now a draw for 2 for China. Liu Sijia has to draw full 8 foot, close to the 4 foot, and China will go out in front in this game. So that perfect freeze on her first shot really put the heat on the Koreans. Korea came short with their freeze attempt. And now it's not quite a free draw for 2. She has to hit the 4 foot. Final stone of end number 3. Sweepers are just watching it. They think it's got all the weight it needs. Will it stop? Yes, it comes to rest in the back of the 4 foot, so it is 2 points to China. A skip's deuce, you could call that one, Sander. Liu Sijia setting that up with a perfect freeze on her first stone.
Well, I think that's going to be interesting for the game to see Korea trail. So they're going to have to be the aggressive team and put stones in play, and I think Korea is the better team doing that. So
yes, this will be a test for this young Korean team. They have not trailed very often this week. They are unbeaten, but in the game that matters, they're trailing. So we'll see how they respond. Women's bronze medal match is also happening here at the Ice Park Curling Hall. And that sees Ayumi Ogasawara's Japanese team against Chelsea Farley's team from New Zealand. And in that match, the scores are tied at 2 after 3 ends of play. But we return to the gold medal match. We see that China leads it now. Playing end number 4. And consistent with their cautious strategy, China elects to throw the stone into the rings. Right on the panda. It's not really a panda, it's the mascot of the city of Karuizawa, Louisa. There's Young-mi Kim.
again, just looking a bit hot with the corner guard. Last time it pulled up about a foot short of the house. This one will actually settle down in a nice spot. Maybe a touch wide, but at least will not block off the outturn draw.
It's a very wide guard there. Here's Wang Rai. Precision guard there for Wang Rai. Perfectly covering the shot rock and very tight to the ring, so big smile from her. She knows what a good shot that was. And now we see Korea going to the offense. Young-mi Kim trying to follow that shot rock down. Controlling the play here. Korea trying to make something happen, but so far not really getting anything set up. Comes to rest beside the Chinese shot rock. So very early in the game, but Sander, I'd have to say right now the Chinese look slightly the more confident of the two teams. Probably feel there's no pressure on them in the sense that Korea came into the game unbeaten, and so is the #1 ranked team. China can kind of leave it all out there and just go for it in this game.
Korea beating China on both occasions. They met each other this week. They did play on this very sheet in their first matchup, where Korea won 7-4 on the second day of play.
You see a little cluster of stones beginning to gather there in the 4-foot circle.
웨이트 약하게 해서 하나 치는 게 나을 것 같은데. 하나 치고 위로. 네. 백. 해서 여기까지만.
Kyung-Ai Kim, I think, always likes to play the shot that'll put pressure on the opponent. So after some discussion, looks to me like she's going to try and bump that red stone on the right of the 4-foot circle back to about the 12-foot.
Well, I think that's why she got so far in the World Juniors. There's a lot of defensive curling going on in Flims, and it really was the aggressive teams that came through to the playoffs. It's all about putting pressure on your opponent. So when you make aggressive calls and you do them well, of course you're leaving difficult shots for your opponent, and you will get misses and opportunities then to score more. But again, if you make aggressive calls and you don't execute them, you might get punished. So,
yeah, so early struggles with draw weight here for Team Korea. We saw Young Kim come short with the draw attempt in the last end, and on this shot we see Young Mi Kim also coming up short.
Way short. She's playing backline weight there. She doesn't even make it to the house, so about 12-14 feet short. Being swept coast to coast as well, so not quite sure what's going on here, but this is a great chance for China to put a guard up. We're lying 2 in the forfeit. Korea's going to have to do some proper bailing out to save this end now, I think.
Yes, it's definitely time to pull the ripcord on the chute here for Korea. They have last rock, but they are facing a wall of granite. Not quite the Great Wall of China yet, but it's getting there. There we see Young Kim looking at the angles. She'd like to clear at least 2 of these.
Well, often you want separation between the guards. I don't think this red one slipped too far, considering it's giving Korea a bit of a worse angle to play the triple. She's going to have to catch this first one fairly thin. See how many she can move.
There's 1, there's 2.
Nudges the third one over. That's a pretty good shot there. Son Young Kim does redeem herself a wee bit after that missed tap.
1 step on the road to recovery for Korea.
They're going to have to make a few more doubles though.
Fancy footwork there by Young Kim to stay out of the way of that stone. China still lies 2. Eugene Lee. China looking to steal the end. This This is the gold medal match, the final game of the Pacific Asia Curling Championships in the women's event. At stake, a place in the Women's World Curling Championships. The teams that qualify for the Women's World Championships will also accumulate qualification points for their country towards place in the 2018 Winter Olympics. Kim, bring in the heat.
Looking to clip the two reds in here. Does that very well. Nice shot. So it does eliminate a bit of danger, but still a couple of guards up for China. Good chance to draw one more in there, but at least they'll be facing. Yeah, at least they'll be only facing the one Chinese stone in the forfeit. But it's certainly not over yet for Korea. Lu Jinli out-turn draw.
But Sander, of all of the teams in this women's competition, this Korean team has consistently been the one that can accurately throw that big takeout weight.
Yeah, for sure. They've made some great peels and they're always very close of making every double. I mean, you're going to have to be very careful where you place your stones playing this Korean team. And you see both teams maybe struggling with draw weight. Could be that it's a tad slower out there today.
So Korea lies one, but it's a pretty lonely one in there. Two Chinese stones also in the rings, as well as Chinese guards in front of the house.
There was good tolerance in that shot from Lu Jinli. Better coming up a bit short there than zoom past the yellow, allowing Korea to draw in. So it's at least blocking the path to the forfeit, and it might be promoted later on. So not a bad result for China, although Korea is lying shot.
So Kim conferring with her teammates about the draw weight. Korea has been struggling to find it. Playing the out turn. Now the stone's making a move. They're by the top guard, but I think they're going to be curling on to that one in the 8 foot. So we talked in the first end about how it takes about one end for the curl to appear on the sheet, but it's definitely there now. That rock curled about 4 feet, and again short.
That's at least 3 draws coming up short on the out-turn side this very end. So I'm not sure if the teams are just being a bit careful with their weight, or maybe it's just a tad slower coming down this path. Should have keened up by now, though. They've played plenty of stones down there. Usually the more stones you play in the path, the keener that track will get.
A good crowd here today at the Ice Park Curling Hall for these medal matches, but wouldn't be enough, I wouldn't think, to affect the air temperature in the rink or the playing sheet. So yes, it might just be a question of maybe some jitters, some caution, but here's a chance again for China.
Lucy Jia then having to come out a bit wider as well, taking more ice to come around these stones, so this might just be a bit of a new path.
They like the line.
Weight's looking close as well. And this is a really nice draw by Chinese skip Lucy Jia.
So, although the Korean players are struggling, Chinese skip Lucy Jia certainly isn't struggling with draw weight. We saw the perfect freeze that she made in the third end to set up her 2, as well as converting on the draw to get that 2, and again another very good draw.
네가 보다가만 이기게. 네, 이렇게.
Didn't really bury, however, so a chance here for Korea to play a delicate weight tap to lie to. And then we get a great look from her overhead. China just biting the button area. Korea's second shot just at the back of the forefoot. Korea's going to try to nudge that Chinese stone straight back. Maybe 3 or 4 feet to lie to.
파란색 뒤에 있는데 파란색 뒤로 8가지만 밀어도 되니까 일단 라인이야.
So Sander, after coming up short on draws, what would be going through her mind right now?
Add some more weight.
That would be a good thought. Sometimes you can overcompensate if you've come short a couple of times and really step the weight up. So she has to guard against that.
Now she'll be looking for advice from her sweepers.
Waiting for it to make its move.
This is looking pretty good from Eun Kim.
Very nice stone from Eun Kim, and Korea lies too. They've got last rock here in the fourth.
I think the call for Liu Sijia is going to be pretty automatic. She's going to have to try and play this double. And that shot is always going to be left.
You see the Chinese lining this one up. Play a double, we mean an attempted double takeout. She's going to try to remove both of the Korean stones. And if she makes this, China might be lying 3, maybe even 4, which would put huge pressure on Korea. Tough shot though.
Eun Kim did tap the red one a bit too far. It'd be nice to have left it 2 feet shorter maybe as a catcher, but I don't think you should be nitpicking at a shot like that. It was a very good tap from Eun Kim, and Liu Sijia will have to play this double. Not the biggest weight. Thought she was going to blast this one, but playing the controlled weight sounds close.
There's 1, there's 2, double takeout for China, and they lie 3. Excellent shot from Liu Sijia. Here we see on the replay, angle was critical. They just catch the shot rock, spring it past the one in the back. That's a big time shot, Sander.
That's a big shot and a big game. No signs of pressure yet for Liu Sijia. She's made some really nice shots.
She looks very calm and composed in this game. Big smile on her face there. So big pressure now on Korea, drawing against 3.
It's going to be really interesting to see how Eun Kim handles this. If we go back, we've seen Eun Kim lose 3 Pacific Junior finals. And when you see stats like that, you might think, well, is that down to the pressure and nerves? Well, perhaps.
So a big test of nerve here.
The draw weight hasn't been perfect yet.
Wanting to make sure first that they have a path through. Now they need it to stop.
There we go.
Right on the button. So it's a score of 1 to Korea. Clutch draw there from Eun Kim, so that'll be a confidence builder for her. And now the scores are level. 2-2 after 4 ends of play in this women's gold medal match. So a real test of nerve there for the Koreans. Saving the end, drawing against 3. So this gold medal match, very evenly poised. Wouldn't want to call it right now. Korea had the advantage of last rock to start the game. But China's really controlled the play. They forced Korea to take 1 in the second. They scored 2 themselves on the back of an excellent freeze. And now they forced Korea to play an incredibly delicate shot to save their one. So even though the scores are level on the scoreboard, I'd say China's had the better of the play in the opening part of this match.
Bit of an applause for skip Karuizawa and Team Japan. They score 3 in the 4th end against New Zealand in the bronze game, so leading that game 5 shots to 2.
Yes, the Japanese women's team, very popular here in Japan. Disappointed not to be in the gold medal match, of course, but looking to please their hometown fans with a win in the bronze medal game. This is the gold medal match. Again, we see China playing conservatively with last rock, ignoring that center guard and just throwing one out there in the wings. Wang Wei with that shot. Control weight being called for by Team Korea. Youngmi Kim, Korean lead. Looking to roll towards that center guard. It does, but it rolls past that center guard and actually right through the house. Some slightly scrappy play here from Team Korea. A lot of half shots. More misses than we're used to seeing, but thanks to that clutch draw by their skip and Young Kim, they are level on the scoreboard.
Lucy Jia calling the draw down onto the back hill. Looks like a pretty tough shot to make. I think the center guard is going to be in the way.
Play in the 5th end of this 10-end game. This one's for all the marbles. Gold medal match. And a trip to the women's world at stake. You're watching live coverage from the Pacific Asia Curling Championships in beautiful Karuizawa, Japan, at this magnificent ice park curling hall. 6-sheet dedicated curling facility, state-of-the-art, operates year-round. And the players and the coaches and anybody here, frankly, this week have had nothing but good things to say about this venue. It is magnificent. Here's the inside roll, trying to get it behind that guard. Excellent shot from Korea. Sun Young Kim nailing that hit and roll. We can see now it's buried at least half. So Korea successfully making use of their center guard that they put up on the first stone of the end. Yushin Rei, or Nana, being asked to remove it by her skip, Lucy Jia.
Yushin Rei, one of the more experienced players out there on the ice today, having won 3 Pacific Championships with Bin Wang.
Oh, just feathers the guard. Jams on the back, but does it stay on the rings? Very hard to tell. It's very close.
I think so.
Well, I thought I saw a little bit of white between the green and the stone, but that one might come into play at the other business end of this end. So a chance now for Korea to finally apply a bit of pressure on China. The pressure's been applied all the way around the other way so far in this match. Sun Young Kim now being asked to play an in-turn come around, trying to draw behind the center guard and in front of her shot rock. Good looking line. They'd love it to curl a bit. They want to get it into the rings as well. Nice sweeping from Team Korea. So, nice comeback end by Sun Young Kim. Nice hit and roll with her first, and a beautiful come around draw with her second. Korea's line 2.
Good chance to steal here. As mentioned, they played 2 games against each other. Korea stole 1 point in each of those games. China was not able to steal any points off Korea.
Well, in this game, we saw in the 4th end, China did pretty much everything possible to steal a point, but Young Kim saving the end with a great draw. Kim just catching her breath after a big sweeping effort on the shot before. Trying to guard these stones.
Oh, this one's looking really short, Hans.
Will they get it over the hog line? It has to get all the way past that blue hog line to be in play, but no, it's a hog rock. I think that's the first one I've seen this week. I can't remember another stone being hogged short of the hog line this week. We have seen a couple of stones pulled on hog line violations, where the player didn't release the stone before the near hog line, but that's the first hogged guard attempt I can remember. So Korea's struggles with inconsistency on draw weight continue. Very surprising. Korea still lying 2, but now they're wide open for China. Attempted double, but it does run straight back and jam, so small break there for Korea. Sander, I wonder if Kyung-ai might have just taken an extra moment to compose herself before she threw that last guard attempt. You could hear on the microphone that she was breathing pretty heavily. She had to sweep the stone before it all the way, and she might have just taken a minute or two just to catch her breath and compose herself before trying the guard. Chance to redeem herself here, however. Korea lying 1, but now a dangerous Chinese stone in the top of the 12-foot.
And especially if that red stone on the back is in the rings. You should be a bit careful here, Korea.
So no problem with the hog line this time, well over. About 5 feet short of the rings, just straddling the center line. Pretty good guard there.
Well, does overcurl and does expose the shot stone, so Liu Sijia now calling for Lu Jinli to come after it.
On the intern.
Wang Rei just pointing up to the ceiling, letting Liu Sijia know that it's a bit heavy. This attempt by Lu Jinli rolls out, and Won Young Kim taking a look at the back stone, see if it's in or not.
That will be quite an important determiner, because as you did point out, Sander, if that stone just to the left of our screen is in a scoring position, that really raises the risk for Korea. If they're confident that it's not in the rings, they can be quite a bit more aggressive and just play the come around. I think they'd play the come around regardless, but just a question about the risk. China with the hammer here on the 5th end. 10-end game. Scores are deadlocked at 2. You're watching live coverage from the Pacific Asia Curling Championships here in Karuizawa, Japan. Wherever you're watching us in the world, we're glad you're with us on Championship Saturday here in Japan. gold medal matches. Women's gold medal match this morning, and we will have the men's gold medal match later on today. Out turn come around attempt by Korean skip Eun-young Kim. They're really worried about the line. They have to get it by the Chinese stone. Just biting the 8 foot. So that one had great line, but they would love that to slide another 3 or 4 feet to bury. Korea lies 1, but probably only half buried. And Lucy Jia immediately lining up an attempt to remove it. So nice chance here, Sander, if she can execute a hit and roll to put the heat on and set up a 2. There is some risk of a jam on that stone in the back corner. So she'll have to be very precise. As you'd expect in a gold medal final, this one's a very tight game. Big moment here. Are they by?
No, just feathers the guard.
Feathering that center guard, so mistake there from China. A little bit tight on that out turn bump attempt. Despite the efforts of the sweepers, they just feather that center guard. That was the first stone of the end thrown by Korea. Comes into play, late going.
That's really unfortunate. Didn't even move the center guard over, exposing the red, because if you did, that'd be at least a bit of a bonus, but that center guard's more or less in the same spot as before that shot from Lucy Jia. Now Korea with a great chance to come around on the in turn, try and set 2.
Kyung-Hwan Kim letting her sweepers know what the execution tolerance is, how deep in the house they'd like this shot.
I think you're going to be right on the tee line.
On the tee line would be position A.
Right
on the tee line as hidden as possible, leaving the out turn draw for Lucy Jia.
Sweepers on it immediately. They're worried about the line. Sweepers desperately trying to hold the line. They need to get it by this guard, and they need to get it by the stone in the top 12 foot, but no, they crashed the center guard themselves. So that in turn really moving and I think fooling Team Korea. You can see there that Eun-young Kim confirming that. They were definitely surprised by the amount of curl. So a chance for China to bail out of the end, and if they can really be precise, maybe even scam a 2.
Team Korea did get a bit of a bonus there though. Nudged that center guard back where it was. Maybe even covering the top yellow a bit more this time.
So it will be a delicate shot. Similar to the shot that she attempted on her first one. She was a bit narrow and just feathered the center guard, so she gets another crack at it. This time with a chance to remove the Korean stone, and that would give her 1, and if she can stick around, she could score 2. And she would almost certainly measure the stone at the back rings for a possible 3. There you see the stone at the back rings. We think it's just off the rings, but they do have a 6-foot measure. Sometimes the rings can be a little bit out, so China would definitely ask for that measure if they had the opportunity to. There we see that center guard was repositioned, so about half the stone available. Final stone of end number 5. Big shot here for China. Lu Xijia. Waiting for this one to curl. Will they get contact? They move the Korean stone, but just leave it in the 8 foot, so it's a big steal of 1 to Korea. Big chance there for China, but Lu Xijia just a little bit heavier with that stone. That didn't curl as much as her first one, so a big steal. Korea now leads it at the 5th end break, 3-2.
Yeah, it's not a typical, it's pretty typical thing to see. You know, she feathered the guard with her first stone. It's very easy to maybe overthrow the second one, give a bit more ice, and she does come up a bit wide. Not enough to move the Korean stone over. And as you see the scoreboard, stolen point for Korea. It's the 3rd time in a row against China this week. They have stolen a point.
Now the players will be taking a 5-minute break at the halfway point of this 10-end contest. We will also take a short break at this time, and we'll be back shortly with the highlights. You're watching live coverage of the Pacific Asia Curling Championships from Karuizawa, Japan.
Women's gold medal game, first end being blanked. In the second end, Han Kim for Team Korea with a nose hit to score the one, super close to the guard, just gets it past. And Korea leads it 1-0 after 2 ends. Han Kim in the third end tried to freeze the red stone, comes up way short, leaving this fairly simple draw for Lu Xijia. Finds the forfeit, score of 2, now China in the lead. In the fourth end, China with a bundle of stones in the house, putting some real pressure on Han Kim to find her draw weight. This time, no problems. Score of 1 for Korea, it's all tied up after 4 ends. In the fifth end, Lu Xijia with a delicate tap to score a couple. comes up a bit wide, can't move the Korean stone over enough. It's a steal of 1 for Korea, and they lead the game after 5 ends. So just seconds away from our 6th end of play in the women's gold medal game. You are watching the Pacific Asia Curling Championships 2014. We're in Karuizawa, Japan. This is the Ice Park Curling Hall. And we just saw Korea pick up a steal on the 5th end. So they will start the 6th end. Youngmi Kim, lead for Korea. Probably looking for this stone to settle in at the top of the forefoot. And it'll be interesting to see if China throws up a corner guard, considering they're trailing the game, and it is the 6th end. A lot of teams will favour trying to score in the even ends, and it does look like we do get a corner guard from Team China. So this could be an interesting end.
Teams would have been conferring with their coaches at halftime. But China now going to the offense. So perhaps an opportunity lost for the Chinese in the 5th end, Sander.
Oh yeah, tough shot for Liu Sejia, but you can't really afford to give up steals in such a tight game, and especially not against Korea. But I think she had to go for it.
I agree.
But the Koreans have proven to be a bit sloppy, especially on their draw weights, so I don't feel confident that Korea's the better team out there so far, although they are in the lead. I think China's actually been a touch stronger, but it's all about key moments and key shots.
Yes, that draw against 3 in the 4th end for Korea was definitely a key moment in the game. Could have swung the momentum in China's favor.
Yeah, and also that nose hit in the 2nd end came very close to the guard, facing 2. So China's done a good job without the last stone, but Won Young Kim has made her last stones count in those ends, scoring 1.
Yep, she's been clutch when it's mattered. She's been a bit scrappy with her setup shots, but on those key final shots, she has been precise, and she's needed to be. Another nice shot from Sun Young Kim. We saw 2 beauties from her in the 5th end to really set that 5th end up for Korea. And Sander, it seems to me when she gets on a roll, Team Korea gets on a roll. Here's Yushin Ray. Removes 1 Korean stone, but just by the 2nd.
아니 안 들어왔어. 앞에 거. 네. 이거 히트 룰 되나? 내가 앞에야 돼. 힘들어야 돼. 가깝죠. 아니면 테프에서 안쪽으로 약간 들어가는 것도 나쁘진 않을 것 같아. 네. 딱.
So they discussed running the corner guard.
정타까지도 괜찮아. 어때?
But
웨이트
look like they're going to play a different shot. China does have last rock trailing by 1. Looks to me, Sander, like they might be trying to make a play on their own stone. Reposition it. Maybe a split. Bump their stone behind the center guard. Maybe just pops out the other side. Korea lying 2. That Chinese guard, however, in a very dangerous place. There we see that the Korean shot rock is probably 2/3 buried behind that center guard. China looking at their options. They appear to be electing to try the out-turn draw around that center guard and freeze the stone on the button. Tough shot. You like this call, Sander?
I don't mind it. I think they have to move the center guard. It's a bit of an aggressive call, though. Haven't quite seen these type of calls from China yet.
Yeah, they are playing a straight bump back, so they're not playing to come around, but they are trying to tap their own stone. Push it into the front forefoot.
Result not being too great, but there is a red stone in there for Korea to worry about.
Kyung-ai Kim preparing to play this control weight takeout. She would love to roll behind that center guard and in front of her own stone if she could. This one looks a little up. Are they by the top stone? No. Big mistake there from Kyung-ai Kim. I think Team Korea was just looking for bumper weight or control weight hit there. That one looked like both wide and heavy. So a chance again for China. We've seen the pendulum of momentum swinging back and forth pretty wildly in this one. Chance now for China.
I think they're looking to split the center guard. Try and split both the reds in, shooter and the guard.
I like that call.
We'll get some stones in the house, open up the center. Two good things. Won't be able to do both, and has now gathered the red stones.
So a chance for Korea to bail themselves out with a possible double takeout. China looked like they were trying to, not quite sure whether they're trying to split or whether they're trying to promote straight back, but you see the two Chinese stones lined up. Chance for Korea to eliminate them. So Kyung-ai Kim trying to bail herself out, really. One, two, squeezes it. Does it spill out of the rings? No, just sits out to the edge of the 12-foot. So actually needed to catch that one a little bit thinner, Sander, if she was trying to make the double. Here we see the contact on the replay. Hits that stone thick. And the action of it, because of the angles, does not allow that Chinese stone to squeeze out of the house. So good try there on the attempted double, but now a good opportunity for China to trade rocks and get the two that they really want to get. China now looking to roll behind the guard. Nose hit, however. China lies 2. So now a bit of danger for Team Korea. China's got last rock. Bit of a debate there whether they want to play a control weight or a bumper weight. The advantage of playing a lower takeout weight means that your stone won't roll quite as quickly as it's moving through the rings, but The risk in playing a lower weight is that the stone will curl more, so it's a little bit harder to control.
컨트롤? 아니면 아예 더 낮출까? 더 낮추기에는
Sounds like they've elected control weight.
생각보다 말고 조금 많이 들어가도 파란색 끝까지 들어가도 괜찮아.
Korea would like to hit that stone right on the button and roll to the left behind those guards. Two guards on that side of the sheet, offering possible protection for Korea. Yes and no, they must feel they're close. Where will it roll?
Pretty good shot.
Sits behind the leftmost of the two guards. We'll get a look at it from our overhead of the long shot. Her sweepers liked it.
Bit of a disagreement on the line call from between the skip and vice skip.
There was definitely yes-no action happening on that one, Sander. But the net result is pretty good. There we see our long shot. That stone at the top of our screen is protecting that Korean shot. Chinese aren't even looking at it, so we can only assume it's fully buried. There we see, there's an excellent view. That yellow stone is indeed fully buried behind that long guard. So that means that China, to generate their two, are going to have to throw the draw. They're going to have to draw around that stone into the 4-foot area. Nice hit and roll there by Korea. Yu Shin-rei holding the brush. Also holding a stopwatch. Players are allowed to use stopwatches to try and gauge how fast the stone's traveling down the ice. Looking to bury at or around the tee line. That is a very nice shot from Liu Sijia. China lies 1. And the question, Sander Rovag, will be, can they bump that stone and squeeze it past their own rock? It's going to be a real question about how much of this stone they can actually see from the hack. So it's a real teaser for the Koreans. They can definitely see a corner of it. So that would tempt them to play a shot to bump it. We're talking about playing hack weight. That would be enough force just to move the stone through the rings to the hack. It's a very gentle shot.
지금 좀 보니까 범퍼 괜찮을 것 같아.
Now perhaps talking about bumper weight instead, which will be slightly more weight. Regardless, it'll be a really delicate shot. They're going to have to flirt with that guard. There we can see that that stone probably 2/3 hidden from the hack. Korea is going to try and squeeze by that guard just in front of the house with gentle weight. Try to push that Chinese shot stone back through the rings, at least to the back of the rings. Here we go. Sweepers working it hard. They're worried about the line. Are they by? Yes, they're by. Fantastic sweeping from Korea, and a great shot there from Eun-young Kim. Once again, saved by her great front-end sweeping from Sun-young Kim and Young-mi Kim, holding the line so close to the guard.
It's almost too good though, Hans, because the way they've left the shooter, it's a pretty makeable double for Liu Sijia to score 2.
Yes, they would have liked a little bit more separation between those two stones. We can see there on this angle. The double takeout is on. If she can hit about half to 2/3 of that front stone, Spill it to the left. She could punch the other Korean stone out and count 2. China's trailing 3-2. We're playing the end number 6. 2-point end would be huge now for China. Great look at it there. Trying to hit the left-hand side of that target stone. Lucy Jia just asking for the ice to be adjusted slightly. She'll be playing enough weight on this stone that this stone shouldn't curl much. See the brush almost on the middle of the stone. They'll want it to curl just across it. Final stone of end number 6. Attempted double takeout. Will it curl enough? It's on the nose, punches the other stone back to the back of the rings, and it looks to me like just far enough. Absolutely 1 for China, and yes, Korea does indicate that it is a 2-point score for China, so fantastic shot there by Lucy Jia, and China takes the lead. So Sandorova called it. That setup shot by Korea was almost too good. Left China the double takeout. Lucy Jia converts, and China goes to the lead. We'll quickly update the progress score from the women's bronze medal match between Japan and New Zealand. Japan stole 2 points on the 5th end, and so they lead that one 7-2 now with play in the 7th end. Japanese women's team, of course, enjoying great support from their hometown fans here, but we return to our gold medal match here on Championship Saturday, live at the Pacific Asia Curling Championships. Korea came into this game ranked first. They've been unbeaten so far this week. They're facing China, and China leads it 4-3.
Yeah, certainly giving Korea a lot more contest this time. Over the 2 games they played earlier in the week, China has only scored 2 points to 1 time over 2 games. So far in this game, they've scored 2 points twice. And that's a big change right there.
And definitely big time shooting by their skip Lucy Jia to set both of those 2 ups. In the 3rd end, we saw the perfect freeze that she made to set up the 2. And there on end number 6, we saw a clutch double takeout to cash their deuce. Korea with the corner guard. So now both teams will start to think about the end game. We've got 4 ends left to play. Korea throwing up the corner guard. Some teams might consider playing the 7th end cautiously to try to blank and keep the hammer into the 8th end and carry the even end advantage into the 10th. Team Korea saying, we just want to get some points going, get ourselves back in front again. Nice little tap there by Wang Rui. She's had a pretty solid game, I'd say, Sander.
Yeah, she's made some good shots. And nice setup here again. Korean lead, Young Mi Kim, looking to do the same. Nice corner guard, now looking for the freeze, I think. And freeze to best stone. The one promoted by Wang Rui. Maybe overswept this one.
Thought for a moment about trying to feather that one. They could have actually swept that one.
Yeah, could have swept that one past the red and in behind, ends up feathering the red. Ticks out in the open, so doesn't get a plan B really. Yushin-Rei has to remove the yellow stone.
Nice shot there. Rolls to the wing, and China lies 3.
I'll say that stone roll's a bit of an awkward spot for China, though. Korea can never roll or freeze onto this red stone behind the corner guard. That'd be pretty good for them, but first they need to concern themselves about the stones along the center line.
So Korea definitely looking at some aggressive play here to try and score 2 or more in this end. Ignoring the double or triple takeouts that are available and just playing a delicate hack weight shot on the second shot stone.
It's a fairly tough roll to make here. Gonna have to catch pretty much of the red stone here. So roll perfectly onto the other one. That's an amazing shot. Really, really good.
Sun Young Kim catching fire here in the late going for Korea. See the angles now favoring Korea there. Their stone's behind the corner guard and the angle on the Chinese stone behind it. It's great for Korea.
Lucy Ja right away goes for the peel on the corner guard, realizing that's the stone causing her the most problems at the moment. Bit of a miss there. Just going to check to the other wing. So a few stones in play now for Korea.
Korea with the hammer here on the 7th, trailing 4-3.
Thanks to the red stone's the best one here, so they might have to move this one.
Difficult to tell from our overhead shot. It does look like Korea is lying 1.
I think she's just going to draw around the guard for now. Option being bumping the red.
So Korea playing the in-turn. We've seen this in-turn really curl a couple of times in this match, so players will be aware of that. This one's staying out, however.
Well, it might be a bit fresher out here.
Now they're thinking about sweeping it to that back stone.
Very good shot.
Good alert read there from Team Korea, realizing that they weren't going to bury, so switching to plan B. Sweeping it up for a freeze. Korea's lying 2, we think. Certainly lying 1. And importantly, their stone sitting directly in front of that Chinese rock. Liu Jinli trying to neutralize with a freeze or come around of her own. Pretty good shot there from Liu Jinli. Let's see where the stones have come to rest. That removes any doubt about that Chinese rock maybe being second shot. It's been pushed back. So China lies 1, Korea's lying 2 and 3. Question for Eun Young Kim, can she get at the shot rock? I don't think so. She's asking Kyung-ai Kim to rip the guard. So good result there for Liu Jinli. There we get a look at it. That Chinese stone is perfectly buried. Yes, no. Kyung-ai Kim kills the guard. Opens up a path to the Chinese shot rock. So both opportunity and potential danger here for Team China. Korea's got the hammer. China's lying 1, but Korea has second shot and third shot, so China's going to have to be very careful here. You see the team coming down to have a conference about this. This is the final event that's being played under the old timekeeping rules of curling, which gives teams 73 minutes to play all of their shots, and the teams also have one minute timeout.
那要不要往这面粘一个呢？这个球底下这个。
我是想往这儿粘，但是前提是你必须得扎上。你要是不能磕，你要小点劲儿行，停在那个位置。你觉着呢？你要停在这儿也行。
那你就这样吧，先打那个，看他打
先打这个吧。
罗上面或者
先打这个，我看有没有相关啊？应该是没有。
China realizing the risk and the reward opportunity in this shot, so quite important that teams get on the same page in this situation. Be very clear about what they're trying to do. Looks to me like they're going for the low risk option, which would be to eliminate one of the Korean shots.
Yeah, well, they were looking at freezing down onto the shot stone here, and I didn't really like that call. Very easy for them to leave a double of some sort. With this shot, they could actually remove the L and roll in behind the guard.
Let's see if Liu Jinli can do that. There's the hit. Removes both stones, leaves herself sitting full in the 8 foot. Opportunity here for Korea now to make a play on the shot rock.
이건 별로. 한번 가면 T 뒤에요. 약간 T까지야. T 뒤는 아니다. 정타도 괜찮을 것 같아요. 정타? 네. 어? 1번 들어가고 2번은 정타.
So we mentioned the timeout opportunities that both teams have.
네? 아니면 범퍼? 컨트롤 안 되나? 네. 범퍼?
So they're definitely going to make a play on that stone. Some discussion about the weight that they're going to throw. Looks like they've settled on bumper weight or board weight. Nice controlled weight. Looking to navigate by that guard on the center line. Remove the Chinese stone and then roll to the center. Kyung-Hai Kim. They're close. They're by. Stone rolls to the left-hand side of the button, and Korea lies 2. Not sure whether they were going for the roll to get straight behind that guard or whether they were looking for more separation. They have popped out the other side, so it is available to China. What do you think, Sander?
I think either or. It's a pretty good result. So, skip stones to come now in end number 7. You're watching live coverage of the Pacific Asia Curling Championships. This is the gold medal match. China versus Korea for all the marbles. The right to call themselves the Pacific Asia champion, and also earning a place to the Women's World Curling Championships to be held in Sapporo, Japan. Brave call by Lucy Jia here though. Looking for the freeze down onto the shot stone. Korea lying 2. This is a bit of a risky call. I think you'd see some teams maybe feel a bit more comfortable eliminating one of the yellow stones.
Korea with the hammer. So China is leading in this match, but they are playing a very aggressive shot here.
She makes this one though. Pretty much kill off the end for Korea, I think. Freeze right to the face of the yellow stone. I think if anything on the inside.
Line and weight crucial. Waiting for it to curl. Looking for it to sit directly in front of the Korean stone. Pretty good shot. They leave a bit of separation. She would have loved to just weld it right on top of that stone, but Angles are still very good for China. Difficult here for Korea to remove that stone without killing their own. China line 1. So we've talked about China being a conservative team, Sander, but there was nothing conservative about that call. Korea now looking at the raised double takeout, but there's risks of jams all over the place for them. But they have to do something at this point to move that stone off the button.
Well, the best result here is to run this red one back. Just tick the red and run the top stone between the yellows, but there's a very big chance of it spilling back onto the wide yellow stone. You might actually end up removing both your yellows here, leaving China sitting 3.
Daring shot attempt now from Eun Kim. They're close. There's 1, there's 2, but they do jam.
Yeah, that was the risk all day.
So Korea's lying 1, but we think it's accessible to China. It's going to be very, very difficult for the Koreans to squeeze that raised stone between the 2 shots. They do jam.
Looking at playing the freeze here, but I think I'd be very tempted to just bump this one through and check a foot to the left, sitting 4.
I agree.
Leaving the draw for Eun Kim to the button. And even if she makes it, that's taking 1 in the 7th end. You'll be tied up with hammer in the 8th end. I think that's a pretty good situation. So I think this is a bit of an unnecessary risk, although if she does make this one perfect, she will steal 1.
If China steals, of course, that would give them a 2-point lead.
Just play this shot too. Surely that gives her a bit more confidence playing it. But I would say remove the sit 4. That's putting some real pressure on Eun Kim in a gold medal game at the Pacific Asia Curling Championships. But the freeze is called.
This one taking a slightly wider track than the first one. It needs to curl. Starting to move now. Will it come to the face? It may slide by. So a huge mistake there for China. Opportunity lost, and now an opportunity for Korea to cash in and score a 2. Looked like she was almost between thoughts there, Sander. She'd called the freeze, but maybe in the back of her mind was probably thinking bump. Got the worst of both worlds, really.
So that's a bad call and a bad shot.
So can Korea take advantage of that miscue and get themselves back in front? Eun Kim has to draw the button to score 2. One of those moments in the game that China might look back on after it's all said and done, and think we might have made a different choice on that shot.
Well, Eun Kim's going to be very grateful for not having to draw against 4, but now instead drawing 4-2. That's a bit of a change. Definitely less pressure on this shot. She knows she has 1 point.
This rock is also taking a wider path.
She can't afford that though. Now sweeping this one onto the red backing, I believe, trying to get it past her own yellow. Plan B here. That works out.
It worked out well for Korea. So alert line reading there for Korea, realizing that they were heavy, but sweeping it onto the stone at the back of the button, the back of the forefoot, and Korea does score there too. Good team shot there. Probably not great execution. I would say if she had to throw it cold, Eun Kim would have been about to the back of the 8 foot there, but the team realizing that sweeping it onto the backing.
Well, that was the tolerance, I think.
Absolutely right.
Couldn't afford to come up short there, but coming up a bit heavy didn't allow them the option of resting onto the red backing. So Korea back in the lead then, 5 shots to 4. 8th end.
Crucial end now for China. Having the hammer, they trail, but they have control of the even ends. 3 ends to play. That means the teams trade scores. China gets 2 chances to score, and Korea gets 1 chance to score. Assuming that they convert with last rock. Young Mi Kim trying to get the 8th end set up for Team Korea. Throwing it into the ring, so Korea clearly playing for the force. They would like to force China to score 1. Take control of last rock into the 9th. And either try to score 2 there themselves or keep control of the hammer into the 10th. Some fascinating tactics in front of us here for these final 3 ends, I'm sure. Quick progress score in our bronze medal match. Host Japan versus New Zealand. Japanese women skipped Ayumi Ogasawara, leading that one 7 points to 3 after the 7th end of play. Chelsea Farley's New Zealand team, a young team representing the Kiwis this year, and they're gaining really valuable experience. Back to our gold medal match.
Korea's going to play this one a bit defensive. I don't think Korea's going to mind seeing China blank this end. So they're going to try and keep things open. And China's going to have to be very careful not to roll out here. If they play this hit and roll and does roll out, I think Korea's just going to pop on up and call the corner guard peel, killing off this end for China. So Wang Rei, key is to stick around here. And she will not.
She loses her shooter.
And I think we'll see the corner guard peel that. That's the only thing that really makes sense. Sun Young Kim does call for the peel. And now the end is sort of dead already for Team China with that call, with that poor execution. Given that Sun Young Kim makes this peel, and she usually does. Now China's in a position where they don't really have anything going for them to score their 2 in the 8th, and they might be forced to blank it.
So China with last rock and a degree of control that comes with it. It takes some really calm and high quality execution for 2 ends in a row for China to blank the 8th and the 9th end and keep last rock into the 10th. But we do see teams try to achieve that.
Well, now we're seeing China do what Korea did in the 2nd end. There was an opposing stone in the house, but they're throwing up the corner guard, hoping for a miss. If that miss doesn't come off, they will play the hit in the house and blank the end.
So China is trying to make the most of the hammer here in the 8th.
China would love to score 2 here. Scoring in the 8th, they could force Korea in the 9th, have hammer in the last end of play. But if they blank this end, you're only allowing yourself to have the last on advantage to once instead of 2 times. So that's the disadvantage, having to blank the end.
Yes, if you're Team Korea here, the best result, of course, would be you stealing the end. The next best result would see China blanking the end. Your best result would be forcing China to take 1. Another corner guard for China, doing what they can to try and generate their 2 in this end. Tension beginning to build as we near the end of this gold medal match.
I don't think China's going to put up by another corner guard. I think they're going to play the hit. Well, maybe not.
One more guard being called for by Liu Xijia. She knows she's got the advantage of last rock and control of the even ends, and so she's going to do whatever she can to try and score her two in this end. Electing to play one more guard. At some point we may see Korea switch gears and think about protecting their own stone. Not this time, however. Eun-Young Kim asking her teammate Kyung-Ai Kim to rip this corner guard.
Still, they're going to be very happy with China blanking this end, so they're not going to take any unnecessary risks, especially considering how the yellow stone in the house is placed.
Oh, missed there. So China with a chance now to use that corner guard. An uncharacteristic miss on appeal from Kyung-Ai Kim. We can see how close that was, but it does go past.
Now a good call by China. Liu Jinli being asked to just draw around the corner guard, ignoring the yellow, instead of playing the hit and roll, which is just a lot tougher way to get there.
So this really does change the dynamics of the end for both teams. China's been thinking two all along. Korea's been thinking we can force a blank. But after that missed heel, Korea now has to shift gears. Nice shot there by Liu Jinli. Stone does slide to the back of the 12-foot, so Eun-Young Kim will attempt to throw her stone in front of it and lie two. That would set up the force, forcing China to take one on this eighth end. We talked about the three outcomes that the Chinese were looking for, or the Koreans were looking for, rather. Korea definitely doesn't want to drop two. Sweeper's not going anywhere near it. Is it heavy? Gets contact, rolls to the back of the 12-foot, so a nervy time here for Korea.
Yeah, they are lying two, but there is a double available for Liu Xijia to sit two as well. Eun-Young Kim a little heavy with that freeze attempt, but it does get enough contact of the Chinese stone to push it and to stay in the house. There we see it. Korea with the yellow stones. First and second shot, but they are kind of lined up. Liu Xijia will try to remove both of them with this shot. And if she makes it, China would be in excellent shape to score there too. They're close. Have they held the line? No, it overcurls and it goes past the stone. So I would have to say that's a sweeping error, Sander Ilvik. Waited for that one quite a while before calling on the sweeping, and the stone overcurled onto the nose, and it's a bit of a bailout opportunity here for Korea. Korea's not out of jail yet, however. They have to make this shot, and
get their stone into a position where China doesn't have the chance to make the double.
Yeah, they would love to roll to the open side, but that's not. They can't really do that because they'll jam onto the back stone. So they're going to have to roll towards the corner guard. Really have to avoid the jam. Cannot give up 3 here.
Can they hold it? Nice sweeping from Team Korea, but the double is on. So another chance at the double here for Liu Sijia. We did see in the 6th then that she made a double takeout to score 2. Here's a chance to have history repeat. Another double. She could again score 2. So final shot coming up on end number 8.
Lucy jump. Double for 2 to get back in the lead. Controlled weight again. Trying to take advantage of our sweepers hanging out there so far though. This one's going to have to bend. Will it bend enough though?
There's 1, but she jams on the stone at the back, so it's a 1 to China.
Yeah, 1 point for China. It's all tied up then. 5 points each after 8 ends, and Korea will have the advantage of last stone. It's going to be really interesting to see how the teams employ their tactics in the 9th end. Korea might be looking to blank. China might be looking to do prevent them from doing exactly that. So I think we're going to be looking at a couple of really interesting ends now after this 30-second break.
This game is absolutely evenly poised. Just the kind of thing you're looking for in a gold medal match. The scores are deadlocked at 5. Korea does enjoy last rock in end number 9. But 10 ends of play. So the options for Korea, if you score 2 here, you would enjoy a 2-point lead in the 10th end. But China would have last rock. Alternatively, if you're Eun Kim, you could play this end quite conservatively and try to blank the end and keep last rock into the 10th with a 5-5 tie. China throws down the gauntlet right away, putting up a center guard. And we see Korea responding. Looks to me like they're going to try to draw to the wing. Stone comes to rest just past the tee line. So that says to me that Team Korea is in fact going to try to play this end conservatively and look for a blank. If they were going for their 2, they probably would have elected a corner guard. So China now trying to counter that strategy. And they would love to force Korea to score 1. So if you're trying to play for a force, it's a lot like trying to play for a steal in the early part of the end. So China stacks 2 center guards. Those guards are in the free guard zone area. First 4 stones of the end. You're not allowed to remove your opponent's stone from play, so Korea can't peel those guards yet. Young-mi Kim will instead come around those stones. Stone coming to rest, looking to hide a corner of it, and it's biting the top 4 foot, so Korea lies 2. Two nice stones there from Youngmi Kim. So this end is setting up in a very interesting way. We can see they're just half, maybe just a corner hidden behind those center guards. China trying to force Korea to score. And it's a scenario that's quite similar to what we saw yesterday in the semifinal, where China trailed Japan by 1 point in the 10th end with the last rock, and China did score there too to win the game. China's trying to do that exact same thing here today. Hit and an inside roll, probably half buried behind the center guards. So a nice shot there from Ray. Here we can see half the Chinese stone available. So these next 3 or 4 shots will be quite telling. On and off, they don't want to roll out. They need contact first. There's the hit, they roll to the wing, and Korea lies 2. So decision time for Team China. And interesting choice here. Quite an aggressive one. Electing to ignore the 2 Korean stones and draw around the center guards.
Well, it's all about, if you don't dare to lose, you're not going to win the game. So Lucy Jia thinking that she's going to have to make a few aggressive calls here to do actually win the game. She could have played the double on the wing. And Korea could have been left to appeal on the center guards.
Stone easing into the 4-foot area, sliding into the button and just past it. China lying 1. But Sander, by making that choice, they do introduce the possibility of Korea scoring 2 or 3, but Korea now reverting to defense and looking for Sun Young Kim to eliminate one of these center guards.
Yeah, I don't think you can go after the double, because I think there's a pretty good chance you're going to jam on the yells on the wing.
Sun Young Kim, after a shaky start by her standards in this game, has really caught fire in the second half. Nice peel there.
Lucy Jia, I think, has 3 options. Either come around the center once more, replace the center guard, or make a play on those yellow stones on the wing.
Okay, quick discussion with Yushin Ray about their options. You can see by the position of that brush, it looks like they're electing to throw another stone into the button area. Here's Liu Junli. China trying to keep the pressure on, trying to force Korea to score 1, maybe even steal. This one actually a guard. They're not trying to come into the house. And instead elect to replace that center guard that was just eliminated by the Koreans. So Korea patiently eliminating guards. We did see Kyung-I Kim flash a clearing attempt in the last end. No mistake on that one. China lying 1. Play in the penultimate end of this 10-end contest.
Timeout called by Lucy Jia. Well, this could be a pivotal point in the end.
As we mentioned, teams have 1 1-minute timeout where they can call their coach onto the field of play, and this is the gold medal match. And if you're a bit uncertain about your options, you might as well use that timeout to
现在
Really
他这
think
俩球
about
挺
them.
讨厌的，
我觉得可以先站一个，
再站一个。
对，然后
到
到你
我进一个
的时候，然后你再往里旋一个，他肯定是轻。你要是旋进的话，离越近的话，他肯定中间球就没了。
现在是咋的？现在是小丽，如果说旋进来的话，他清掉一个，咱一直站。
那你就一个站位球了。
但是你要是等到你站的话，人家一旦清开俩，
对呀，你就把那球打掉呗。你
打掉这俩的话，不在赢里。
你就打掉一个就行，你就把这球打掉就行。
把这球打掉啊？
对呀，你就打掉这儿定着，比他近就行，俩球牵他。
你打这个的话
Looks to me like
就正好俩球平嘛，你就
the
打这个。
Chinese front end players would like
我
to
觉得可以站一个。
get one of their own stones in front of those Korean stones, Sander. Here comes Coach Zhang. Let's listen.
这局比赛吧，给他1分还是 OK 的。
对啊。
一个呢，他第一个球可以这样，可以这样，都可以。
他第二个
第二
了。
个。
你说他让我寻思让小丽，你把他打掉也行，你打一个甩过来也行。你说你看他咋打？
打这个甩过来。
对。你说他清你站位，然后你再补一个，那样的话3、7、8俩。粘太好了，粘不就1分了吗？
对，那你就这样，你但是
打的一个，
打底下那个来短的，
打底下，
打顶那也行吧？
打底下这个甩过来。
对啊。
OK。后来他粘一个，清一个。
因为这俩球太危险了，一旦那啥的话，你还给人那个2分到3分。要不然就投一个，要不然就打甩一个都可以。
打甩
就打一个吧，打一个吧。
打甩一个，或者是粘一个，这两个都可以。这两个都可以。
打一个吧，稳妥一点，稳妥一点，打甩。
OK，打定行了就行。你打底下那个。
打底下那个。
打底下那个，底下打完了能进去，打定也比上面近。
对，我就觉得打完能比上面近，挺合适。
行。打底下这个。
那打上面必须得打甩，才能比他近。
Time is over.
打定他有没有大包？没有吧？
没有。
因为打底有时候打不好就落后。
行。然后等到他要是清单位到我的话，如果咱俩球的话，我就站。
1 minute timeout has concluded.
把他打掉，是吗？
So now the coach has to leave the ice. We saw 2 or 3 options being discussed. Coach Zhang, we saw a great view of their marker board. He was saying his tablet, that's right. One option would be to draw around the center guard into the top 8 foot on the intern side to lie second shot. That was one option that he gave them. Another option would be to eliminate one of the Korean stones and sit 1-2. Looks to me like that is the option they've selected. Here is Liu Jinli playing the out turn. Have to get by this stone on the tee line first, however. Safely by. Nice shot. China lies 2.
Now you wonder if Korea might have to change gears. I think the blank is going to be pretty hard for the Koreans right now.
I absolutely agree. There's 3 stones in the rings and only 3 stones each to play. Xiang Kim trying to drive this center guard into the pile. Moves the stone off of the button area, sweeping it over to the edge of the 12-foot. Pretty good result, but she leaves the center guard for the Chinese to use. There's the run back. Picks off the shot rock and pushes it out to the edge of the 12-foot circle. Great precision shooting there for Korea, but still a chance for the Chinese to draw one in there and force Korea to take one. Could be making Korea look at 2 on the last shot. Still 2 stones to come yet for Korea. And now the chances of a blank in this end looking even more remote. So a big decision coming up for Korea. Team China's objective on this end was to force Korea to score. If Liu Sijia can bury this out turn, they'll be in great shape. Scores are deadlocked, 5-5. We're playing in the 9th. Good looking line. It's just a question of the weight now. Trying to sweep it into the button area. Just short, but not a bad shot. Comes to rest, just biting the forefoot. Korean team immediately asking their teammates, how much of it can we see? Can we make a double, maybe even a triple? Angles look pretty difficult for that. She would have to throw a missile and thinly hit the outside of that shot rock to make a triple takeout. You can see that there's about half of the Chinese stone available. Quite interesting to see what kind of weight she wants to play with this shot. There's Kyung-Ai Kim holding the brush. Crucial moment in this gold medal match. Kind of in no man's land. She removes the Chinese shot, but she rolls away to third shot position. Looks like the Korean stone is still counting out that Chinese stone in the back 12. So there we get a great look at it on her overhead. China lies 1 on the right-hand side of our screen. Korea has second shot and third shot. So that introduces a bit of danger for Liu Sijia. If she was to leave her stone in a place where Korea could somehow make a long double, Korea could score 3. The plan all along in this 9th end for China has been force Korea to 1. So if she makes this out turn come around and lies first and second shot, that would put China in a very good position.
Liu Sijia has been rewarded for playing come around the center guard earlier in the end when Korea was lying 2 heels on the wing. It was an aggressive call, and it's really paid off for them. Can't see Korea scoring 2 here. That shot looking maybe a bit wide, but certainly going to enter the 8-foot ring. So I don't think there's going to be a realistic double for Eun Kim. Top of the 4, nice shot.
So, first part of the mission accomplished for China. They lie 2. They've played this entire end to try and force Korea to score a single point. And now Eun Kim is going to have to play a delicate downweight shot just to score 1. There we see. Corner of that rock is buried, so there's no chance for an inside double. And it'd be almost suicidal to try a double on the outside. This is just going to be a downweight shot to try and score 1.
She sees a bit more than on her first shot, but it's the pressure now, and a bit of an applause going there. Mid-slide for Eun Kim. Could have thrown her off. This one hanging wide.
Korea needs this stone to curl.
Coming down. Good.
Nice shot there by Eun Kim, but a bit of a moral victory for the Chinese. They were looking to force Korea to score 1, and that's exactly what happened. So China will carry last rock into the 10th and final end. Korea leads it now 6-5. Applause in the background for Team Japan. In the bronze medal match, Japan has defeated New Zealand by an 8-4 score, so it's a bronze medal for the host Japanese team here. Congratulations to Ayumi Ogasawara and her Japanese women's team. But Sander, we've got a mouth-watering proposition here in the 10th and final end. China with last rock, trailing by 1. Exactly the same situation that they had in the semifinal yesterday. So might be deja vu all over again. China, of course, did score 2 in that game to advance to today's gold medal match. So they've gotten themselves into the same position they were in yesterday. And crucially, they will have the last shot of this end. So a big decision for Team Korea. Recognizing that, do you go all out to try and play this like you're stealing, to put even more pressure on the Chinese? Let's see how they play it. Here's the first rock by Youngmi Kim. Korea setting this end up like they played the 8th end. So that says to me, Sander, that they're going to play this like a force. So they'll play this whole 10th end with the mindset of letting China score 1, but only 1, and take the last rock into an extra end.
Well, still a chance that Korea might throw the center guard though, and I think they should. Throwing both stones into the ring is really only giving away a chance to score 2 for China. Need to put up the center guard to put some kind of pressure on the Chinese. Center guard can also be really a bit of a bailout stone for them. If things go wrong, they can always draw around the center.
Wang Wei throwing that corner guard, so decision time now for Korea. Will they throw the center guard or will they bring it into the house? Let's see.
Well, this is a situation they would probably face lots of times every year, and they should have gone through this with their coach, Ante Vucic, and what they want to do and what they want to achieve in this end when they're one up without hammer. Sometimes it depends on the team you're playing, but usually you have a preferred way of playing these types of ends, and they are looking to draw into the house.
Korea lying 2, China with the hammer. So now China looking to play a shot on the stone in the ring, so they're not worried about throwing up a second guard.
Again, though, very important for Wang Wei this time to lead the red stone in the house, which he does.
Yes, I think they were a bit worried about that one being overthrown and rolling out, but in the end it curled up and almost a nose hit. So it's in the open. Sun Young Kim. Likewise, Korea wants this one to stick around. Rolling towards the corner guard. Maybe even hiding a corner. And we see that, in fact, yes, just a corner of that stone hidden. Slightly choking off access to that corner guard for China. China will, of course, still try to use it, but to use it, they're going to have to move that Korean stone back about a foot. Makes it a little more difficult than just a straight draw. Yushin Ray.
3-time Pacific Junior champion. Yushin Ray looking to grab her first gold medal at the Women's Pacific Championship.
Korean stone pushed into the back of the 8-foot. Korea lying 1.
Well, it was sort of a setup shot for the next one.
Yes, by pushing that Korean stone into the back of the 8-foot, that is something that they could freeze to or sit in front of later. China trying to engineer their 2 points, and if they could do that, they would be Pacific Asia Women's Champions. Gold medal match here on Championship Saturday. Waiting for this one to curl. Do they have contact? Just moving that stone, but leaving it biting in the corner of the ring. Will that come back to haunt them at the end of the end?
That's a big mistake by Sun Young Kim.
Crucially, that red stone now is second shot, I think. So that might be the extra point that China needs to lock this game up. Lots of stones to come yet, though. But this might wind up forcing a change of tactics from Team Korea. Shinrei. Also waiting for this one to curl, but line looks pretty good. Right on the nose.
Good shot by Yu Shinrei. I think she's just looking really cool and collected out there.
I was thinking the same thing before she shot Sander. She's been very consistent today, looking very composed. Bumper weight being called for. Korea trying to remove the Chinese shot stone. China lying 2. 2 for China here, of course, will give them the gold medal. Ai Kim. Bit of a panic sweep there. And well by the guard. No inside roll, so it's shot for shot, just trading nose hits. That stone is moving further forward in the house as it goes, however. There's Ai Kim. And there we see that corner guard at the top of our shot. Not really a factor here.
Lu Jinli's first international competition as a player.
What a situation to be introduced to for her.
Oh, not bad there. Wanted to roll a bit to the left of our screen, but I don't think there's a double on for Korea. They might be looking to hit the white one and roll on top the red, if it's possible. But you never like to come out wide here when there's barely been a stone.
I'm with you, Sander. I would be. We've talked about this Korean women's team being fearless. And this is really I think a pretty high risk shot for them.
Well, then again, if you're not going to make any difficult shots here, you're going to give away 2 in the gold medal. So
they're definitely in a situation now where they're facing 2 stones.
This is tough. You can see the frost out there, barely played up on the ice. Very easy to overthrow this one as well. Having that thought in mind.
Well by the guard. Nose hit.
Well, I think removing the white stone is still a good result, because you leave the stone that's closest to the center, making it a bit harder for China to get separation.
Plus, you also get the side benefit if in an extreme emergency of having a stone that you could use yourself on your last shot to somehow get to the button if you had to. Doesn't seem likely right now. So China's already used their timeout. They can't call their coach down again, so it's up to the players to decide what to do at this crucial moment. 3 stones to come for China. About 4 minutes and 15 seconds left on their playing clock to play those 3 shots, so plenty of time. Korea has one timeout remaining. They haven't used theirs yet.
So they're going to play the outturn draw just to the top of the 12-foot. Maybe tuck a corner in behind the guard. Just trying to overlap all the red stones. Bit of a Christmas tree effect. We used that term early in the week.
Quite important that they get second shot, though.
Yeah, and that's tough for the sweepers. They're going to have to judge the weight. Try and leave top 12. Not bring it any further, any deeper in the house. Not touching it so far.
This stone's sliding towards the tee line. It's got plenty of weight.
Where are they going to leave this one?
Sitting directly behind their shot rock. They are second shot, but now a chance for Korea to bail themselves out of the end, and you'd have to say that's a mistake there by the Chinese. They were looking for that stone to stop, probably just biting the front 8 foot. Instead, they slide to the back 8 foot. So a huge opportunity here now for Korea to make a double takeout and lie two, but most importantly, really reduce the possibility of China scoring two.
Yeah, that could have been Liu Jinli's lack of experience showing there. But interesting to see Eun Kim, if she can handle the pressure. We did mention her losing 3 junior finals in the Pacifics, also losing out to Canada in the World Junior Final.
There are a couple of options here. The preferred option is the double takeout. She could also roll to the inside and sit in front of that Chinese second shot.
Do they have it?
There's one, there's two. Nice
Just
shot there by
enough.
Korea. Just moving that stone off the ring.
Wow. That is a big shot at a crucial time for Eun Kim.
Look at the replay. They needed to catch that second stone. They just nudge it and push it sideways, but crucially leave themselves lying first and second shot. Big shot there from Eun Kim. And now China must bury an outturn draw to have any chance of scoring two.
Yep, skips deuce on the cards for Liu Hijia. Have to score 2 points with her last 2 stones. We've seen her do that a few times. Did that in the third end. The nice freeze and draw this time. Needs to hide her first one around the corner guard.
China looking to bury this stone behind the guards. In the hands of the sweepers. Must be shot. They are. Now can they bury? Full into the 8 foot. Nice stone there by China. China lies 1. So big decision now for Korea. We can see that stone, probably half of it available on the outturn. So one option for Korea would just be to play a hack weight or board weight hit. They could also try to play off their own stone on the left-hand side, which would be a much riskier option, I think.
I think there's no doubt which call they're going for. It's just about the ice, really.
Yes, China doesn't really have to stick around, or Korea rather. They'd prefer to if they could, because there is some risk of a cross-house double for China to win the game. So they'll look to eliminate this stone and keep their shot rock in the rings. Job 1, however, is to eliminate the shooter.
It's getting awfully quiet in the Ice Park Curling Hall. Can hear a pin drop in here. Eun Kim, the last shot of the 10th end for her. Needs to remove this red stone. Keep the hope of a gold alive.
Must get by the guard.
Working this one really hard.
Are they by?
Oh,
Just by!
wow.
Unbelievable sweeping from Team Korea. Saving the game for them. If they would have crashed that guard, it was all over.
I thought that was on the guard.
I did too, Sander. I'm really looking forward to the replay. I'm not convinced it didn't touch the guard. They just squeaked by it. Look how close it was to that guard. Unbelievable. That was a millimeter away from catastrophe, Korea. But breathe a sigh of relief. And so now, facing 3, Lucy Jia must draw the 4-foot circle to score 1 and force an extra end.
Yeah, all the pressure was on Young Kim. Now all the pressure switched over to Lucy Jia, second guessing her first call here, playing the out turn. That's never a good thing. But she's elected to go with her first call. Have to play the out turn. She's going to have to curl past the top yellow stone in the house. And when she lets go here, it's all down to the sweepers, really. No panic so far. Needs to curl past the top yellow. I think they have done that. Wang Rei and Yushin Rei on the sweepers, looking good. And that's going to enter the 4-foot. That's a score of 1 for China, tying it up at 6 each. We're heading into an extra end.
Wow. What a clutch draw there from Lucy Jia. Calmly drawing the 4-foot, facing 3, and facing the loss of the match if she would have missed that shot. But instead, she delivers, and we go to an extra end. In curling, if scores are tied after regulation play, we continue. So curling fans around the world, we're getting what we thought we would get here in a gold medal match, which is absolute quality. This is as tight as you can possibly be. Korea, though, will have the hammer in this extra end. Wow, what a display of clutch shooting from both teams. The Korean front end of Sun Young Kim and Young Mi Kim saving the day on that final stone of Eun Young Kim, sweeping it past the guard by just a fraction. And then Lucy Jia calmly drilling the 4-foot to save the match for China. So here we go, curling fans. Extra end. You're watching live coverage from the Pacific Asia Curling Championships. This is the gold medal match here on Championship Saturday.
So tactic for China then. Put up the guards. This is really the key moment for the lead players. They need to position these stones in the right spot. So important to take advantage of the free guard zone. That's a good draw, a good guard by Wang Rei. He's going to have to play another one.
Pressure really on both leads in a situation like this, because just as China is trying to stack the guards, equally Korea is trying to play the soft peel or tick shots to try and reposition the guards. They cannot remove this stone from play, but they can reposition it.
Young Mi Kim can almost win the game right here with 2 tick shots. Starting to over curl. Does move it over.
She does move the stone off the center line.
It's pretty good, but a bit soft on weight there, and doesn't get as much separation as they were looking for. Now sort of blocking off both the in-turn and the out-turn path to the 4-foot.
Here is Wang Rei.
These stones can act as catchers also for the peels, so not a bad attempt by Young Mi Kim. But a few stones to worry about for Korea. Wang Rei looking for the center guard again. Good shot.
That's a great location, as Sandra Rover just mentioned. Now if Korea does attempt another soft peel, the stone will absolutely jam. So the end starting well for the Chinese. They need guards. Trying to hold the line, trying to push this stone off the center line. Again, just nudging it, and nudging their own stone into the rings for what might be the saver at the end of the game. 2 nice stones there by Young Mi Kim.
Yeah. Moves them off the center line, but again, There's an awful lot of stones in the front there blocking off the draw. So I'd say China has a fair chance of putting some pressure on Young Kim here.
Well, there is no doubt in it, now that we are through the free guard zone phase of the end, that Korean second Sun Young Kim will be asked to blast away and start to kill guards. Long center guard here from Yu Xinrui. Great separation between that stone and the other two Chinese guards. And now we're coming up to what is quite often the decisive moment in an extra end game like this. Usually comes at second stone. And if Korea can make a double clear and eliminate 2 or 3 guards, they can really swing control of the game into their favor.
Sun Young Kim has been solid this week, making some great double peels.
There's one, but she just blows by the other 2 guards, but safely removes the center guard.
Well, it's a bit of a risk there. Could have ticked in one of the red stones, even moving the other one closer to the center line, so should be a bit careful, but
don't think Korea would have minded that too much though, Sander. I think the thing for Sun Young Kim will be just to have a clear shot somewhere at the 8-foot. Right now those guards do represent danger, however. China will definitely want to preserve those guards. This one's sliding a little deeper than the first guard, so increasing the risk of a double or a triple clear. Right on the center line, so there's a big opportunity for Korea to remove at least 2 of these Chinese guards. They are angled for a jam, however. So that worked out, I think, pretty well for the Chinese. Sun Young Kim, you see here on the replay, the jam did happen. And the stone spun to the left, so it actually spun closer to the center line. So now China has 2 red guards stacked quite close to the center line. And now Liu Jinli will play the out turn. China must steal. We're playing an extra end. It's the gold medal match of the women's event. Everything at stake. The winner will be the Pacific Asia Women's Champion. And the winner will also qualify for the Women's World Curling Championships.
Potential triple here.
We see Sun Young Kim looking at the angles. She would love her teammate Kyung-ai Kim to hit just about where she's got her broom and eliminate 2 and maybe all 3 of these Chinese stones. Big weight. No.
Oof, that's a big, big error from the Korean third player. Pretty much doesn't change anything. Replaces one center guard with another. Great chance for China to come around.
So the window of opportunity has been opened wide for China. 3 guards sitting almost on the center line. There you can see almost a V formation welcoming the Chinese into the 4-foot.
And everything's just blocked off here. It's fairly clogged up the front of the house. This is a key shot from Liu Jinli. Made a mistake in the 10th end. Setting up the double for Korea. Looking to redeem herself with a nice draw to the 4-foot.
Good looking line. It's a question of the weight.
It's good, but
fully behind cover. into the 8-foot. And so now, key decision for Team Korea. Do you spend one more of your precious 3 stones eliminating guards? And the answer to that is a most emphatic yes.
I think they're going to try and have to open this one side.
Korea with last rock in this extra end. Kyung-ai Kim trying to clear a path to the button for her skip.
Much better.
So nice shot there from Korea, but the heat still is on for them. There we see 2
Very
stones
close.
removed, almost killed 3.
Very close to moving that red stone in the house.
站正中间，站中间这个圈儿。他打这俩的话，我留这个，然后最后一选。
加油！
Right now, I think Eun Kim's going to have to prepare herself for an in-turn draw, perhaps, on the right-hand side of our screen.
Yes, as it stands right now, there is a path to the full 8-foot on the in-turn side. That would be quite a wide draw. Teams do receive an additional timeout here in the extra end. Time not a factor yet. Guard attempt by Liu Sijia, trying to protect her stone.
3区就不擦了。
3级别擦了，这块啊，
不用擦，不用擦。
Trying to cover both the shot rock as
能下
well
来，能
as
下来，不用擦。
take away the double
没
takeout.
问题。
往下擦一点，
再来一点。
擦一擦，擦一擦。
OK，水平。
So it's going to be really interesting to see what the shot choice is for Eun Kim. I think that she does have an opportunity to play the double on the shot rock at the top of the 12-foot, so that's one option. We do see Korea calling timeout, so they will use their timeout to consult with their coach, Patty Wittrich. 2 options here. One option is the option that Eun Kim is looking at, which is to run the center guard in towards the Chinese shot rocks. And that would leave a corner guard out to the right, but that really doesn't matter. She would just, in that scenario, be trying to open up a path and maybe make a triple. If Korea elect to play a double takeout on that stone in the top 12-foot, it will keep China the opportunity to draw around themselves, but it would give them stones to raise.
I think I like the double. That center guard's fairly long too, so
Great angle on it here, so we'll take another look at it while we're waiting for Coach Withrich to join her team, and then we'll listen into them and hear what the options are. Regardless, Sander, it's hard to see China not having a shot on their last to hide somewhere, so the final stone of this gold medal game won't be an easy one, so let's listen in.
Double. Option 1 is double. Okay. Now, if you don't make the double, okay, and she blocks it off, do you still have a path to draw? We want to make sure that you've got a path to draw on your last shot.
네가 마지막 샷을 보낼 수 있는 장소 그 공간만 있으면 되는데 네가 이거를 더블을 하고 나면 얘들이 여기를 막을 것 같다고. 그래도 이쪽으로는 들어갈 수 있으니까.
If you play the double and make the double, then she's going to draw around.
아니면 이 더블하고 나면 얘들이 한 번 더 들어올 수 있다고.
So, if you know, as long as you've got a path to draw on your last one, so your choice. You can play the double
길만 남겨놓으면
or the
되는데
peel.
이걸 더블을 하든지 필을 하든지 네가
And the peel you want to try and catch.
필을 할 거면
So
좀
your
잡아서
choice.
나가는 걸로 해보고.
More easier this shot.
Okay? If that's what you want
네가
to play.
빼는 걸로 하면.
And if you make this double, as long as you feel you still have the draw.
그러니까 여기에서 이걸 빼고 나도 얘가 일로 들어와도 아니면 이걸 막아도 일로 들어올 길은 일단 있다.
Okay?
네가 편한 걸로
Make it.
So a final reassuring make it instruction from Coach Patty Withrich. We
똑같이 너무
heard them discussing the 2 options that we were discussing before, and we heard Eun Kim say she thinks the double's an easier shot. Coach Withrich's advice was just make sure that you leave yourself a path to draw on the last one in case you have to. So Eun Kim will attempt the double takeout, trying to remove both Chinese stones. by electing this shot, Chinese skip Lucy Jia would at least have a chance to make a come-around draw. But let's focus on this shot first.
I have to try and play this fairly tight to the guard, though. Clipping the guard would be an option B. Falling off the sweepers.
They're close. Well by the guard. There's one. Pops the shooter over into the edge of the 8-foot, but away from the guard. So maybe slightly obstructing her draw path. So the options now for Team China. They lie one. That center guard, there we see at the top of our screen. That's a long center guard. But probably China's best option of stealing this match. With that red Chinese stone where they've left it, they want to be careful about stone placement, because if they draw around the center guard and leave it in, say, top 4 foot, it would introduce the chance of a double takeout for the Koreans for the win. What option do you like here, Sander?
Well, I'm thinking.
Chinese have called their coach, Zhang Wei, down to the ice level.
I think maybe this goal. Well, listening.
Be a bit brave play, but I wouldn't mind seeing them split their shot. Let's listen.
让他找吧，你这块卡着，这边一投进了，是不是？离中心比较远，你得逼他，要打他失误呗。如果你要投太高，他这边
他现在打好，我想让他投一个，你觉得呢？他半天没投了。
因为他这个球离太远了，正常的话你还是正常，不管了，没有正常就中心，投个准的。OK。是。
So a relatively quick discussion there. So I think it's pretty clear in Coach Zhang Wei's mind what the preferred option is. I think what they were discussing, Sander, is really where they would like to leave this rock. Do they want it at the tee line? Do they want it at the front of the button? Do they want it at the front of the 8-foot? Regardless, anywhere along that path is going to make a very challenging final shot for Eun-Young Kim from Korea. And you're watching live coverage from the Pacific Asia Curling Championships. This is the gold medal match in the women's event. You were in an extra end. Tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Final stone of the game on its way for Lucy Jia. Korea's got one to come, of course. She does not want to slide behind the tee line. Full into the 8-foot, and China lies 2.
I think that's a pretty good spot for Lucy Jia. Just gonna either leave a draw through the port or a hit and roll for Eun-Young Kim. I think you were leaving something no matter where you placed that last stone. So
yes, Korea was always going to have a shot. It was a question of how difficult it was going to be, and that's a pretty good spot. Korea cannot nose hit that stone on the right-hand side and score. So if they elect to play a hit, which it sounds like they want to, they're going to have to roll to the inside to win the game. And by playing a hit, of course, they're going to have to control the roll. They can't afford to roll out of the house, or China will steal and win. So it is the bumper weight hit.
Well, I like the quick call.
Yeah, quite clear in her mind what she wanted to play.
This is a tough shot to make, though. Shot itself is not of the most difficult ones, but it's the pressure. Extra end, gold medal game. And she's a fairly young skip as well. There it goes. Last one for the gold medal. On the sweepers right away to keep the line. Are they going to overcurl it? I wonder if this is going to slip between the
Hits and rolls
reds.
out, and China steals the match, and China wins the gold medal. Disappointment for Team Korea, but jubilation for Team China. Liu Xijia, Lu Jinli, Yushin Rei, and Wang Rei are your women's gold medal champions. There you see the final in an enthralling match. China steals the extra end to win the gold medal. Sander Olveg, what a turnabout.
Yep, that was that's going to be tough for the Koreans. And I think I mentioned earlier this week, going undefeated into a final is never easy. There's so much pressure on you. And so yeah, it's tough. China wins it though, stealing the extra end. Their defensive tactics have worked, and they, of course, clinched their spot in the World Championship. So it's not only about the Pacific Championship, it's about going to Sapporo for the Women's Worlds. And Korea will not do that because Japan, of course, host nation, will have the other spot, Pacific Asia region, having 2 spots.
Yes, so bitter disappointment for Team Korea, unbeaten this week, having the last rock in the extra end, hitting and rolling out on their attempted shot to win the game. So delight for the Chinese and disappointment for the Koreans.
So we're going to have some highlights from this very exciting gold medal game, and we're going to try and get some words with the winning skip, Liu Xijia. Sixth end. Big shot called by Liu Xijia to score 2. Looking for the double, comes off the first yellow, punches the second one just far enough to score 2. Big shot to lead the game 4 shots to 3. In the 7th end, Liu Xijia with an audacious freeze attempt, slides past, leaving this draw for 2. Eun Kim comes a bit heavy, but gets the backing, scores the 2. Korea now in the lead. In the 8th end, another chance for double for Liu Xijia, but stuffs it. Only scores the 1. It's tied up after 8 ends. In the 9th end, the Chinese made some brave calls. That really paid off. Forced Eun Kim to play a hit for the 1. It curls up. Korea heads in to the 10th end with a 1-point lead. In the 10th end, Liu Xijia left with a draw to the forfeit for the 1. Big pressure shot, makes it, and both teams head into the extra end. China in line 2, young skip Eun Kim with all the pressure, looking for a little hit and flop inside, but curls too much, and it slides right past, leaving China with a steal of 1 and the gold medal.
And we're here at ice side with gold medal skip Liu Xijia of China. A thrilling extra end win. How does it feel?
加局获胜，你什么感觉？
非常好 ，feeling so good.
Wonderful.
And how does it, you've now qualified China for the Women's World Curling Championships. This is a new look Chinese team. How has your Chinese team prepared for this event?
因为是一支新的队伍，然后在准备这太平洋比赛的时候，是都做了哪些准备？
还是把我们每一个人做好了吧，因为是一个比较新的队伍，所以说也有很多的问题，但是我们在不断的去改正，然后来打这一次的比赛。
We are actually a new new team, and we prepared ourselves, prepared every one of us. We know that we have also some weakness, so we just want to make ourselves stronger to qualify for the Worlds.
In the extra end, you had a discussion with your coach about where to place your stone to try and steal the match. What were your options, and why did you choose the option that you chose?
就是加局的时候，就是叫暂停的那个球，你都有哪些选择？然后为了偷分嘛，都有哪些选择？为什么最后做了那个选择？
选择是肯定是要投的，但是不能给对方一个 double 的角，因为韩国队可能在击打方面非常的好，所以在考虑是往上面投一点，逼他最后一投，还是往下边投一点，然后让他打一下，然后最后投的那个位置，我觉得也是有一些幸运成分在里面嘛。
So our only choice is a draw, but the difference is we cannot. We need to be guaranteed that we don't leave a double angle to Korea. So our choice is whether leave it higher or lower. And then in the end, I think that we are lucky to have that draw.
Well, you chose well. You stole the 10th or the extra end to win the championship. Congratulations to Team China. China is on the way to the Women's World Championships, and China is again the champions of the Pacific Asia region. Congratulations to Lucy Jia and China, our ladies champions.
Thank you very much.
So China then, gold winners here in the women's final. Later today at 2 o'clock we'll have the very exciting game between Japan and China in the men's final. For now, in the Ice Park Curling Hall and here in Karuizawa for the Pacific Asia Curling Championships. We're rounding off. My name's Sandra Olvag. I was joined by Hans Frauenlob. See you again, 2 o'clock, men's final.